Hello friends, welcome to today's video. This is the first video I've made in about 2 months. And a little bit of this video might sort of explain that a little bit. This video is going to be me looking back at the year 2020 for me. We all know it's been a strange year, so that's the context of this entire thing. But it has been such a strange year with so many changes and things happening that for those of you who are my regular viewers, I thought it would give me a chance to sort of put a lot of this year in context for what it's been like for me, and also a little bit of maybe what I would like to see happening in the future. I know some of you come to these videos from many different places. I have made budgeting videos on my channel. I've done a lot of makeup and product reviews. I've done food videos. I've done fitness videos. I've done sort of like weight loss journey videos. Really this channel, and one of the reasons I named it specifically for my name rather than like around makeup or budgeting, is because I want it to be able to follow where my interest took me. But we'll get to that at the end of the video. I first wanted to say happy holidays and happy new year. I'm sitting in my living room with my tree, looking very a dress from the Queen. But I wanted to do something a little bit festive. So I wanted to talk through my positives and negatives from 2020 personal to me. And because I like to end on the positive, I thought I would talk about a couple of the negatives first. And negatives more in terms of sort of challenges from this year. Some of these may feed into why I wasn't feeling like making videos as much lately, but just sort of keeping you updated on what's going on in my life. And I've made notes. So if you see me looking down, that's why. So we're going to start with a little bit more of the challenges from this year. And I've mentioned this like in my videos before. The biggest challenge for me this year was loneliness. A lot of us have been isolating at home. I live here by myself. We'll talk a little bit later about sort of relationships that have ended this year, but I went from January of 2020 having a partner that I spent most of my free time with, as well as sort of working in an office, to then being at home by myself, working from home, not being in that relationship any longer, and just realizing that I didn't have the breadth of friendship network that I would really like to be able to have. Now, that wouldn't have made that much of a difference this year because it's not like we're all going out and doing things socially, but that is part of it. So that was a big part of what I was dealing with. And I tend to make these videos when I'm in a good place mentally because it's something I enjoy. It's a hobby. And because my happiness level was up and down throughout the year, there was that. But I have found ups and downs, but many more ways to deal with that loneliness than I had at the start of the year. I briefly mentioned their relationships. This is what I'm not going to go into too much because unlike other things that are personal to me, relationships, of course, involve another person, and those aren't my stories to tell. But as I mentioned, I did go from being together with somebody at the start of the year that I had been with for many years to now being on my own. In December, start of December specifically, as well, there was another relationship that was important to me that ended suddenly, and I wasn't expecting it, and it was really, really difficult to deal with through the month of December. But all that to say is there were relationship changes. Well, I try to look for the positive in everything, but there were relationship changes that were very, very hard through the year. Another thing I've had on my channel before is my weight loss journey that I've done primarily through Weight Watchers, my WW. At March of last year, I had lost 55 pounds, and it's funny because I have like a weight chart where you can see like my weight pretty steadily dropping until it hit like March 14th. And then it started going up again. And that is exactly the time when lockdown happened, when I started working from home. So I would say from my lowest point, I'm up probably about 15 pounds this year, which is frustrating to deal with. So, I mean, overall, if I look at where I am from, the start of the journey, I'm still down 40 pounds and I'm in a much better place than I was, but it's been harder it's been frustrating. Let's just put it that way, to have that happen. And then another challenge has just been that I've not been doing these videos as much as I used to, and I do enjoy doing them, but as I said, I like to do them when I'm in a good place. And you know, a lot of my videos were like makeup videos and weight loss videos, and I've been wearing like no makeup this year pretty much. I could probably count, you know, from mid-March the number of times on like two hands. I put on makeup today for this, and it's been the first time in like a month that I've put on makeup. So YouTube fell off a little bit, but I've been doing a lot of reflecting on it because I really love having this channel. So let's move on to the positive. That was the challenges, the negative. Let's move on to the positive. One positive thing, and this is I feel so grateful about this, is that I have had a job through all of this. And for those of you who follow my channel, you know that I went through a big career change. I went back to school for a year, and January of this year, I started a new job, interestingly enough, at a hospital. So I've been also seeing the pandemic from a healthcare point of view, but I was able to transition to working from home, and I work with an amazing group of people doing work that I really enjoy doing, and I have felt very grateful for that. I would love to be back in person again. I am one of those people where I'm not super built for working from home because I like having that social interaction. But, you know, I really like the structure that it gives to my day, and of course, financial benefits of having a job. Even though I have struggled with my weight through this year, I ran 5K for the first time this year, which was amazing to me in terms of like a fitness goal that I have or had. I basically started training for it in like January, I want to say, because I had signed up for a 5K. And although the 5K ended up being canceled, I still was able to run 5K. I hit that mark a little bit before the date of the actual run was to be, but I ran 5K on the day that the run was supposed to be. That fell off a little bit through the summer as it got hot out and then into like the winter, but it was the first time in my life athletically that I had trained for anything and gotten better at it, which is kind of crazy to say as somebody in my early 40s, but it's true. And it was so cool to see that I could set a goal, move towards it with a plan, and actually achieve it and get better at something. So that was awesome. In that fitness part as well, I joined a softball team this year in the fall, a very beginner league, social, you know, it was competitive, but it was like non-competitive in that people weren't over the top about it. I had not played softball since 7th grade. I hadn't played a team sport since school when they made you play team sports. I just kind of always thought I wasn't a team sport person, and I think that was probably just because I had such crappy experiences with it in school. I've never been someone who's been particularly sporty or fit, but I loved playing softball, and I was surprisingly, I think, good at it for somebody who had not done it in however many years that was. I am not great at catching in the field and throwing very far, so I would like to play softball again this year, and I do think I need to build up my upper body strength so I can like throw the baseball. At this point, if I'm playing catcher, it's difficult for me to get the ball to the pitcher with my arm strength. But I felt like I was pretty good at hitting. I, connected the bat to the ball almost every time I was up at bat, and like pretty good at running bases as well. I'm not the fastest person in the world, but I got some runs, and our team ended up doing pretty well, and I really loved it. And now I'm excited about doing more team sports in the future. Touching briefly on relationships, even though there were struggles with relationships this year, I like to look back and see the positives in it. I want to look back at the time that I spent with the people who I was in relationships with that ended this year and be grateful for the time that I had with them, the experiences that I had with them. There were relationships that really helped me get through everything that was going on this year. And for that, I am very grateful. And also as part of relationships, because you can sort of be, if you are living where I live and you are a single person in a single household, you can choose another household to bubble up with. You can be adopted into another home. I am lucky enough that my sister lives in the same city that I do, and she has her husband and her children, and they have brought me into their family. I have people to spend, you know, some social time with, and it was my sister who got me to join the softball team with her and spend the holidays with, and I really enjoy that I've been able to, I feel like, build up that relationship a little bit more this year. It's always been a good relationship, but I've been really, really thankful for it this year. I'll also say this is a little bit frivolous, but spending so much time at home, I actually have like made up my home a little bit, made it a very cozy place to be. And I will link down below, I did like a house tour or apartment tour, I guess it would be. I am somebody where the last place I lived in for like 3.5, 4 years, and I never hung any artwork on the walls. I'm just not great at settling into a place. So spending so much time at home gave me the incentive to like really make my place up, and I am really, really enjoying it. And also with so much time and so much happening and like time with myself, it's really given me a chance to look at my goals and objectives and think more about who I want to be as a person and what I want to do more of going forward. Let's get into what I want for this channel, which ties into what I'm looking forward to going into the next year. First of all, I'm not going to make any promises, because every time I say I'm back and I'm going to post more, I always hate it when people do that on YouTube, because they'll say that and then they'll disappear again, just like I did. So I will post when I feel like it. I hope you guys stay subscribed, or subscribe if you're not, so that you can see when I post, because it's likely not going to be any kind of regular schedule. But I would like to maybe take a little bit more time at doing videos and make them maybe just a little bit meatier, for lack of a better term. When I look forward into the next year, I've sort of written down some words of things I want to focus on. One of them is consistency. When I look at my goals for healthy eating, for exercise, for strength, for doing good things for my mental health, doing things for myself, I really want to focus on the consistency of it, building habits. One thing that I thought I would like to do for this channel is do videos that sort of span a longer time. So I have some ideas of mental health things I would like to do, such as daily journaling, or I don't know, like adult coloring books, that kind of thing, meditation, and take a month to do one of those things every day and make videos that focus on that journey, that consistency, building that habit. Same thing around fitness. I have some strength training programs I would like to do and be able to take a little bit more time to document that journey. One of the other things about consistency and sort of documenting those journeys is I've always done that a little bit more on my skincare reviews, because I like to test things for a long time to see what kind of impact they're having. I would like to continue with those. I am more likely to focus on skincare and hair care rather than makeup, just because it's not something I'm using very much. But if you've come to this channel for the beauty reviews, please know that I would like to still keep doing those, a little bit more focused on skincare, a little bit more focused on not sort of quantities of makeup. I still will likely throw in a review here and there. I'm really focused on a very fresh look is what I like to do lately. And by lately, I mean like the 10 times I've put on makeup this year. But that consistency and building habits is something I would like to share with you, and also have the accountability of sharing with you. I also wrote down creativity, because I like the idea of trying new things. That does build into the habits, but just doing things a little bit different, trying new things. And creativity also ties together with another word that I wrote down, which is connection. This is likely going to be something that will happen more starting in the summer into the fall, when more of us will get vaccinated and be able to be out doing things with each other. But I would really love to do more things where I can build up more of a network of non-romantic relationships and friendships. And I have ideas of things I would like to do, classes I would like to go to. I would love to try boxing. I would love to go to some more art classes, which is something I loved doing when I was a kid. I don't know, maybe getting into like some running groups to like work towards running 10K, although it'll take a while to get back to 5K once I get back out there again. And documenting some of that, but just doing more to build up the relationships in my life outside of the idea of romantic relationships. Going into the next year in terms of health and wellness, I would really like my focus to be a little bit more on strength and activity and exercise, and a little bit less on food. One of the issues that I had this year was I really started succumbing a lot more to binge eating, which is an issue that I've had for a while. I think the stress of this year really brought it out. I think it led to, you know, some of the weight gain that I saw this year. And for some reason, I have been having a real issue connecting and staying on board with the WW program. I think part of that is just that it's been a really hard year, but I think another part is that the in-person meetings were really important to me. And I had a really good group that I would go to that was midday downtown. So it was really like a nice young professional group, and we felt like we had a lot of the same challenges and issues, and it just worked really well. Now, the online meetings don't quite have the same accountability for me, which I'm finding to be a challenge, but also there were some meetings that opened up in person for a little while before we got shut down again, but they just weren't my people. I was almost just a little bit more frustrated being there than motivated. What I would like to do, and I think this will help both in terms of consistency, not focusing so much on food, and I think help reduce the binging, is to focus more on a not super restrictive calorie goal. It will give me a chance to eat different foods and still stay on track. So for me, I'm looking at sort of eating like between, I don't know, 1,800 to 1,400 calories per day, with like 1,600 being around that sweet spot. But I just found that I was going back to a lot of the same things over and over with my WW, and I was just having a little bit of frustration. So different tools for different times. I'm not saying I'm not going to go back to it again, but I think what I would like to do is focus a little bit more on you know, eating nutritious foods but not having too many limits on them, and sort of getting back on track that way while also focusing on strength and fitness. So for those of you who follow me for my WW content, I would still like to, if I do days of eating or recipes, to still provide you with the points. I'm actually still staying signed up with the app for now. I'm still going to try going to some of the virtual meetings, so I will still have access to the points and information, so I can still share that with you. I'm sort of seeing how this goes. So that is my ideas for my channel going forward. I feel like I've been rambling for quite a while now. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing what was going on with me. If you like some of the ideas that I've been mentioning, if you have any feedback about them, anything you would specifically like to see, please leave it in the comments down below. I believe that is everything for me from now. Once again, happy holidays, happy New Year. I look forward to seeing all of you in the new year, or putting out more videos for you in the new year. As I said, no promises, but I would like to. Thank you so much for those of you who watch my channel and watch me. I still get all of your messages when you leave comments, even if I'm not replying back again, and it really makes me feel very happy to see that. I love you all. You guys are amazing, and let's all look forward to the next year together. Thank you so much. Bye.